Okay, the next dinim in Kitzer is the dinim of what's called Avodah Zarah, idol worshipping. No, it's very relevant in this time of the year, by the way. A lot of different details about, and let me give an introduction to the whole concept. We should understand it clearer. The Rambam writes that Christianity is Avodah Zarah, idol worshipping, and Muslims, the Rambam writes, is not Avodah Zarah. Other people disagree with the Rambam, and the halacha is not like the Rambam, that Christianity for a goy is not Avodah Zarah. Now the whole issue over here is as follows. A Jew has to believe in one Hashem. Okay? A guy also has to believe in God, in one God. The question is what's called shituf. Shituf literally means a partnership. Now, there is a concept, there is God, but there's also partners to God. Now, what does a partner to God mean? Partner to Hashem means he has an equal say. He has an equal say. He's a 50% partner or not. So, for instance, in Muslim religion, they don't have any gods. There's one Hashem, they believe in one God, and Muhammad is a prophet. So they don't believe in anything else as a trinity or, things like that. Christianity believes that there's actually a trinity. There's God, and there's Yashka, and there's the other guy, whatever. It's three people. That it's not... Okay, so now, a Jew has to believe that there's no shituf. What does that mean, no shituf? There is no partnership in God with God whatsoever. And Chassidus and Mefarshim give a mashal, it's like the axe in the hand of a chopper. If a wood chopper is chopping with an axe, the axe is not a partner with the guy who's chopping the wood. In other words, you don't say thank you to the axe for chopping the wood. Because the axe, why don't you say thank you to the axe? The person you say thank you to. Or let's give a more updated version. A guy gives you a ride with the car somewhere. So afterwards you leave the car. If you're a mensch, you say thank you. But you say thank you to the person. You don't say thank you to the car. Why don't you, if you think about it, the car brought you here. Why don't you say at least half thank you to the car? The answer is because the car had no free choice to do it or not to do it. You say thank you, somebody, because you had the choice of doing it or not doing it, you chose to help me, so I say thank you. But I'm not going to say thank you to this thing because it's recording me. It doesn't have the free choice to record or not. So therefore, it's only like an axe in the hand of the chopper. If somebody's speaking through a microphone, you don't say the microphone made a good speech or the thank you to the microphone. The microphone has no say. The only time you can consider a partnership that you would have to say thank you or something like that would be when the thing has free will or not. So a Jew, because it says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, there's only one God. So a Jew, according to all opinions, has to believe that the only thing that exists is God. All the constellations, all the angels, all the other things that help, so to speak, in bringing God's things wherever it is not in any way and control, say in the matter. It's worthless. It's just like the axe in the hand of the grinder, of the chopper. So a Jew for sure is not allowed to believe in shituf because it says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. But if the question is a guy allowed to believe that yes, Hashem exists, but the constellations or Yashka or that, they also have a say in the matter or not? So the Rambam holds a guy is obligated, just like a Jew, not to believe in shituf. Means, according to the Rambam, a guy has to believe only God controls and nobody else has any say whatsoever. Therefore, the Rambam holds Christianity is Avodah Zarah even for a guy. Why? Because a guy is not allowed to believe that there's any power in the Trinity or things like that. Most opinions, and that's the way it's paskin in Yoredeya, in Hilchos Avodah Zarah, that a guy is not obligated in shituf. Meaning a goy, for a goy. A goy is allowed, in other words, for a goy to believe in Christianity, it's not idol worshipping. According to the Rambam, it would be. And therefore, when the Bais Din of Eretz Yisrael was in control, halachically, a goy, according to the Rambam, a goy that believed in Yoshka would get killed by Bais Din. Because one of the 7 Noahide laws, you can't believe in idol worshipping. But, so the Rambam would hold that a goy, that's a Christian, is worshipping idols. The halacha is that for a goy, it's not idol worshipping. So therefore, a goy is allowed to believe in these things, but not a Jew. Okay, this is very important to understand, even in modern day halacha, what the issues are. Now,
why do we follow the Rambam? So the Rambam said it is avodah zarah.
For a goy. Even for a goy.
Right, and you said there's another opinion that said it's not.
Most of the Rishonim and Achrim disagree with the Rambam, and that's the halacha in Shulchan Aruch, that for a goy, it's not avodah zarah.
But for a yid, obviously.
Obviously it is, because a yid is now to believe in anything but God. Ein eid milvadei.
Right, so why for the goy is it not avodah zarah?
Because they learn, because it says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. No, because this is what the question, why the Rambam hold what he holds, but Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, so they hold the mitzvah is only given to Yisrael, that Hashem Echad. Echad means only, that's it, nobody else in control.
So going to believe that there's an Eivisher plus something else.
Correct.
That's exactly how.
Now, Muslims, everybody says not avodah zarah because they don't believe in any, they believe in God. They don't say Muhammad's a God. You know, God's son, daughter.
But they believe in Imam. Isn't Rambam's ruling has anything to do because he was living under Islam rules and he was scared?
No, because those things were censored and they were put back later after. There's a lot of things that Rambam wrote against Christianity. And at the end of Hilchos Malachim, all the way at the end about Mashiach, the Rambam wrote a whole thing about Yoshka, and it was censored by the Romans. And nowadays it was put back, huh?
By the Christians, not Romans.
Christians, well, the Romans were Christians basically.
What Rambam?
I'm saying, but they were printed in Europe, so they were all censored. But now it's back in. There's a lot of parts of Gemara that were censored, parts of Shulchan Aruch that were censored.
They were printing it.
Yeah, and now it's back in. So this is, what did you want?
Muslims believe in Imam. They have 13 Imams.
No, but that's prophets, not gods.
Okay, but they are better.
No, I'm saying they don't believe in them as gods, they believe in them as prophets. And the Rambam says that's for a goy. It's even for a goy, it's not a avodah zarah. Okay. So now, what?
Remember you spoke of Jew selling golden crosses, jewelry piece technically.
We're not there yet.
I know. I just wonder what's the din of a crossless tree per se? That's Shelik Avodah Zarah, or is that like on the side?
It could be what's called the Abizrah, the avodah zarah, and we're not there yet. Let's go with the system. Okay, now, anything which is worshipped as avodah zarah, for a Jew it's forbidden to benefit from it in any way whatsoever. Because he can't buy, he can't do business with it, he can't do all these things. And not only that, if one thing of idol worshipping fell into 1,000,000 times the amount of not avodah zarah, it's not bottled. It's still avodah zarah. Okay? So therefore, like this, something that was, I'll give you an example. Let's talk. Okay, it's about crosses. A cross in a church, which is bowed down to, that cross is avodah zarah. That cross, because it's worshipped. If it's worshipped, then it's avodah zarah. Something, the Ramah brings us down, a jewelry piece, let's say they wear a cross around the neck. Nobody bows down to that cross, it's a jewelry piece.
But they kiss it. I've seen that.
Yeah, but they're not bowing down to it. They kiss it because...
Sense of worship, no?
No, that's not necessarily a sense. That's not the way they worship it. They worship it by bowing to it. If they would worship it by kissing it, or like Baal Pa'ar, they would urinate in front of it. So then that would be avodah zarah. But what? If it's put into the car as protection and they bow to it, then it would be. If it's made for jewelry, in other words, practically speaking, a Jewish jeweler is allowed to sell those cross chains.
What about the one with the JC on it?
Again, if it's just J.C. Penney, it went bankrupt. If it's just an ornament, a jewelry piece, it's not a Vaad Din.
Doesn't matter. It wasn't worshipped yet. If he didn't make it, there's no.
No, he doesn't make them. I'm saying
If he didn't make it,
as a jewelry piece, or no.
no Vaad Din was worshipped to the piece. Yet.
Yeah, but that's another question. If they made it designating it to a Vaad Din, it might already have a din of a Vaad Din. Here you make it as a jewelry piece to sell to make money.
The ornaments on trees are the same.
Now the question is, what's with the kratzmach tree, the Xmas tree? Is it now officially the lights are ornaments to make it look good? Now the question is, do they worship the tree? That's a shaila.
It's not a Christian thing. I'm not a historian. Is it even a Christian thing?
It is a Christian thing. Or if you have a Hanukkah bush, then it's interfaith. It's not a joke, by the way. There's a lot of Hanukkah bushes that they. You have no idea, leider, how many Jews in Beverly Hills have kratzmach trees. Leider, because that's.
It's just a cultural thing, and it's not common.
If it's a cultural thing, again, if it's a cultural thing, it's not something that they worship, they bow to it. It's just an ornament, decorating, and you have to know the facts. And I don't know necessarily clear what the facts are, the reality of it, what the story is. But if it's a religious symbol, then it has a din of Vaad Din.
So you could admire all these trees with the lights on it?
No, because b'chal, you shouldn't admire a thing that the goyish. I understand. That's not kratzmach thing. That's
They only put it on during.
they only put it on, but it has no connection to kratzmach.
You take it off right after.
I understand, but again, that decoration,
There's no problem with.
it's not blue and green or whatever the colors or whatever. It's not necessarily a Vaad Din.
There was a culture, there was a pushback until about less than 100 years ago against celebrating Xmas and all that by some in the US. It wasn't widely held, it wasn't widely accepted universally, or I should say, as a holiday. It wasn't. It was some.
So, on the tree thing, so long as I'm in for a quick second, we could say that it's not worship, just l'mashal, right?
Yeah.
So if we assume it's not worship, you're walking, I don't know, in the grove, and it's a big, beautiful tree, you could stare and admire it, but it's not never worship for a Vaad Din.
Yeah, but because it's connected to the holiday, and that we're going to come to, it's a big shaila today about giving a guy gifts right before their holiday, not New Year's, kratzmach, Xmas. It's a big shana halachic giving gifts, because the Shulchan Aruch says we're going to get to those dinim in detail about giving gifts to a guy on their holiday. Now, if you give it to them for New Year's, even though technically, New Year's became New Year's according to the Gregorian calendar because of Yoshka. Because officially, the year used to end at the end of February. Why is February always a leap year? I mean, when there's a leap year, February 29th.
Because they stole the day from.
Because the year used to end in the end of February and it began in March. It used to be a long time ago. And February is the last month. Therefore, the last day of the year, if you need a leap year, you add that date to February. That's why February is only 28 days, because the 365 days are up at the end of February. And therefore, it's a leap year. They would add it at the end of February. They don't add it at the end of December. They don't make December 32nd, because that's not what the year. This is what they say. So why did they make New Year's? Because that was the day of his bris. Because Kratzmach and New Year's is always the same day of the week. So it's obviously the time. So this is what they say. But Lepearl Poskim write that today, New Year's is not looked at as a religious holiday like Xmas is. It's looked at the secular New Year. So it's a celebration, a New Year's party. But the origin of it is really a little bit connected to the Kratzmach. Okay, we continue. Machin is on my baby, my Kim Shivala Gal Taylor, long. We're going to catch him.